Hey folks, Scott here. This video is a repair video on an 021 Stihl chainsaw. The 021 is a part of a family of saws that Stihl made. This is an older model. 021, 023, 025 are all in the same family. So the parts are, for the most part, interchangeable. There are some exceptions to that, but for the repair that's necessary on this saw, it's going to be parts that are very much interchangeable between those saws in that family. So the saw was brought to me leaking oil and leaking gas. When I pulled the filter cover off, I noticed immediately that the vent tube on the gas tank has deteriorated and has fallen off. Most likely that is where the gas leaks when the saw is turned a certain direction. I have here a replacement for that I'll be putting on. The other problem with the saw is that it leaks, which you can see there's some oil leaking there right away. And most of the time these saws leak in one of two places. One possible place is in there under the muffler. You can see that spot in there, but it looks like that spot is intact. Looks like that is intact, and therefore it is not the culprit. Again, looking under the saw, you can see exactly where it is leaking, as you can see right here. So these things, this is an older saw, so these parts will wear out. So we're going to replace the oil line. We're also going to replace this particular part that connects the oil line and brings it up into where it oils the chain. These parts are relatively inexpensive, and so we're going to replace them all just to be safe. When I took the saw apart, I noticed that the sprocket had a good bit of wear on it, and so we're going to replace that as well with a new sprocket. Again, these are relatively inexpensive parts, and a saw of this age probably needs to have them replaced anyway. Let's begin with the gas vent line. See if we can get that out first. There's that. Putting a little oil on the lip, around the edge of that. So that this will slide on with relative ease. Okay, here's where we saw the oil leaking. So we're going to replace all of this. We're going to put a new oil line in, as well as replace all of this with the O-ring on it. Well, just flew across the room. That's okay, we're putting a new one in. Removing the oil line. It goes into the oil tank. There it is. We're going to replace it with a new one. Putting a little bit of oil around the edge so it'll slide in. should be able to pop that into place. There. Have to put a little bit of pressure on that and it will seat. On the new part, I put a little bit of oil on that O-ring, that seal, so it will go in appropriately. Now we're going to replace the chain sprocket. Take the E-clip off first. You have to be careful it doesn't fly across the room like it just did. Again, but that's okay. As you can see, this is pretty worn. Definitely needs to be replaced. I'm going to take the old bearing out, sleeve bearing out. Here's the new one. I'm going to apply a little bit of white lithium grease to it. Got to make sure we line up this slot with the worm gear for the oiler. It seems to be in place. Now we'll put the new E-clip on. And there it is. Okay, reassembling the saw. We'll start putting the handle back on. These are the caps that will go over each screw in the handle. Nice thing about these is that they're all the same length, so that avoids some confusion. Okay, we'll get the chain bar on there, try it out.